Howdy folks. So as you can see, I have a new file server, or at least it's new to me. Of course, it's not actually a new machine. It is used. And so this is a of course, it would have been a custom build from Supermicro, but it's an SC847 dual-sided chassis. So there are 24 drive bays on the front, and there are another 12 drive bays on the back for 36 disks total. It's currently got 8 disks populated in the front here. It's got 2 SSDs inside, mounted under the motherboard tray, and then I'm going to be adding more disks to it in the future. So that's pretty much it for the case. These are all just hot swap trays, of course. It has 2 SAS2 single link backplanes. I've disabled the one on the back just for power consumption reasons. There's no reason to have it plugged in if there's no disks in it. So I've got just everything on the front one. A lot of the hardware is sort of built in now, so all of the add-in cards in my old server are pretty much gone. This has Intel i350 dual gigabit LAN, so I don't have a LAN card. It has IPMI, thank God. The only real piece of hardware that was taken from the old server was my InfiniBand host bus adapter, which does not have a bracket right now. I ordered a low-profile bracket for it, which unfortunately was not the correct bracket, so I'm going to probably have to bend the high-profile bracket I have and cut it to make it fit in here, because I don't like how it's not really mechanically supported by anything. So just going over some of the hardware. So it has, of course, dual redundant power supplies. These are Supermicro 1000 watt. They're PWS 1K28P-SQ. So on mains in North America, 120 volts. They're 1000 watts each, of course. This thing is draws about 220 to 250 watts or so at idle, which is about double what the old server took, but that is sort of to be expected when we look at the hardware inside. So taking a look on the inside, so I have 2 Intel Xeon 6-core E5 2620s at 2 gigahertz, so that gives me 24 logical processors. There's 48 gigabytes of Samsung DDR3 ECC memory, so there are 6 DIMMs per CPU, so they're 4 gig DIMMs each. And what I might do in the future to reduce power consumption is I may actually remove CPU 2 and then simply buy higher density memory and populate CPU 1. Because I don't actually need the second processor for anything, because I only have 2 cards in this, and they're currently both being run off of CPU 1. There's only 2 slots that run off CPU 1. They're both X8. Of course, I've got my InfiniBand card as normal, and then I just have an LSI SAS 2008 base controller. I think it's a 9211-8i. I flashed this with the latest IT firmware, and so ZFS is perfectly happy running on this. You can see, like I said, I disconnected the rear backplane, and the power is disconnected underneath the motherboard as well. Both of the SSDs from the old system are in here. They're mounted underneath the motherboard tray, and they go directly to the Intel PCH, which has a SATA 3 link, 2 SATA 3 links, which works out pretty well in this case for me. Now there are, of course, there are actually 7 fans that this thing comes with. There are these Nidec UltraFlow 7000 RPM leaf blower fans, basically. So I'm running it off of 3 of these right now. It's perfectly adequate. You can hear their PWM quite low. This is actually quite quiet for this machine. Maybe I should fire one of these up at full speed just so that you can hear the difference with. I'll turn off the auto mic gain. I've turned off the auto mic gain. I'm using the camera mic. Sorry, it's kind of a shitty microphone, but I'm just in a rush and I don't have the time to really deal with setting up all the audio stuff. But anyway, there is this fan here, which is something that I've built. I'm going to have a video on this, where I'm sort of retrofitting these fans with Noctua very, very quiet fans. And so I'm not quite done with that yet, so I'm going to have a video when I actually do that, and I'll show exactly how I've modded these caddies to take different sized fans and everything. And I think that'll be that'll be an interesting thing. I want to do that probably today or tomorrow because this thing is, even though it's relatively quiet, it's I can still hear it from other rooms of my house, so I want to get that dealt with. As for the motherboard, of course, it's a Supermicro X9 DRH-IF. So it's the model that does not have the onboard SAS controller. So you can see that's an unpopulated area there. That's why it has this controller. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for what's going on with this machine at this point. I set it up yesterday, just sort of got the bare minimum stuff happening. I've sort of, you can see I've drilled a hole in my wall. I've run some cables through to this, as this is not in my office. This is actually with my my router and everything in a different room, just because of the noise factor. And so yeah, I found some interesting things during the initial power up of this. So there is going to be a video on that very shortly. Some things to do with the drive. I actually ended up having to swap boards on the drives and actually get out my soldering iron and actually change the firmware chips on the drives, on one of the drives. So there'll be a video on that. And so yeah, there's going to be quite a few videos over the next week or two as I sort of finish this project up. It's been a long time in the planning stages. I had to get this from the US, and that took quite a bit of time and planning and getting it to me. This thing was originally in California, so it's about 4,000 kilometers this thing traveled to get to me, and getting the time to set it up and all this other stuff. It was it's been a long time of planning, and so now I'm going to try and within a week or two get everything completely finalized and set up. But it's just finding the time that's kind of difficult. So I'm just rambling. Nothing really useful is coming out of my mouth at this point. So I'm going to sort of wrap this video up here, and you'll probably just see a bunch of shorter form factor videos that are more specialized to each particular topic that I come across with this thing as I set it up. So I look forward to seeing those, and as always, hope this was interesting, and thanks for watching.